right. Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to my elder apostles, to my elder bishops, and to my elder teachers of great millstone that rule well, which taught me this truth, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and also peace, love, blessings, and salutations unto the elect. All right, shalom, shalom to the few sisters, the Akwaf, that listen and follow this truth and sincerity. Shalom to you sisters, to you Akwaf. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners. Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, shalom. I'm the priest Ain Wa from the GMS South Carolina Midlands camp. Just coming back with a quick lesson through the spirit, man. And, ultimately I want to start in Jeremiah 28:8 because the prophets are back, right? And the prophets are back in these last days of Esau Edom's rulership, which the prophets have always been around. And every time before the Lord took out a kingdom, right, he sent the prophets. Okay, the prophets went and prophesied. And ultimately, when the prophets was done prophesying, in the time that the Lord gave them to prophesy, once that time is up, the Lord brings that wrath. He brings that destruction. And it's no different now when it comes to America, especially now, right? The Lord has been pretty much the Lord from the beginning has been planning on taking out Babylon and this wicked ass Edomite rulership and ultimately showing his power. OK, this is that climatic period. OK, the true end of wickedness, the end of Esau Edom. Right. So the prophets are definitely back here today, man. OK, and prophesying. OK, Jeremiah, as a matter of fact, before I get that, let me grab Matthew 24 real quick, man. Right. Matthew chapter 24. And let's start at verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Right. And the Lord is giving us the signs now to let us know that he's about to make his second appearance. OK, his grand appearance. The Lord is giving us the signs. Right. Like it says in 2 Esdras, the 9th chapter, measuring the times and paying attention to the signs. OK, so one of the major signs is what? The prophets are here, man. OK, it says, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Right. The end of a particular period of rulership, the end of an age. Right. The end of these Edomites ruling. OK, verse 4. And Yahweh shall answer and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, and shall deceive many. OK, these false prophets. OK, everybody's saying that they got the truth, but really, the only ones that have the real truth is the men of great millstone. Right. Whether you believe it or not, whether you like to hear that or not, we don't give a shit. We know that we have the truth, 100% truth, beginning with our elder apostles, elder bishops, and elder teachers on down. OK, when it comes to our apostles, they don't add or take away from the scriptures. OK, they stick to the scriptures. OK, and they apply the scriptures to themselves. They try to be as righteous as they possibly can be in these chains of darkness. OK, these bodies that are subjected under sin. And I emphasize that because it's impossible to perfectly keep the laws. OK, and we're not going to be saved by keeping the laws 100%, man. OK, it's plenty of scriptures I can get to prove that, but y'all can go and do the research, man. OK, but ultimately, to the best of our abilities, like I said, beginning with, our apostles and elders on down of great millstone, right? We try to keep the ways of righteousness as perfectly as possible in these bodies that are subjected under sin. OK, and that's why we need Yahweh Shai. See, the Lord set it up by default to where the only way to him is through Yahweh Shai, man. Yahweh Shai is our mediator. OK, that's a lesson, a topic for another day. Continuing on, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. We're in the beginning stages of World War III right now. And the prophets, right, beginning with the elder apostles on down, we've been teaching this for years. OK, telling y'all that World War III was going to happen in our lifetime. Telling you the main players of World War III. Okay, Israel, the U.S., Iran, China, Russia. Okay, and these other countries starting to get involved. Okay, NATO, the EU. Okay, and the Lord is working on the minds of these kings, ultimately to prepare them for war. Okay, it says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, we're not going to be in full blown World War III, right? Until the MOTB is mandated, which the MOTB is on the scene. I was watching this video earlier, seeing how they're already in the beginning stages of making these 15-minute smart cities, man. I saw this one video of this guy. He was in some part of Texas, and they was doing the construction, and ultimately they already have some of these 15-minute cities set up. Okay, they got it to where it's like for the rich, and ultimately, they got apartments that stretch far, man. Just I don't know how many miles, but the guy who was recording, they was like, man, it's endless. But they have these apartments, everything is scrunched together. They got these apartments on top of, certain restaurants and clothing stores and things like that, trying to make it your convenience to where really you don't even got to leave that area. So it's like a 15-minute smart city, man. And ultimately, it's very condensed. And Esau's trying to keep tabs on people, man, trying to keep you locked in. There was a show that came out years ago, man, called Colony, right? It came out, I think, on the USA Network. Y'all can go and look it up, man. But pretty much they was letting you know all of this shit, man, in that show Colony, right? They had AI drones, pretty much being like the police, facial scans and pretty much convenient cities. They weren't necessarily smart cities, but they had everybody condensed in this, particular area, and they had walls around it, man, containing people, and people was pretty much like riding bikes and walking and things like that, man. So Esau tells you what he wants to do in it through his movies and TV shows and so on and so forth. And ultimately, that's him trying to be like the Most High, trying to, predict certain things or whatever, trying to give him that, presence as if he's all knowing, right? But ultimately, it's all through the Heavenly Father anyways, man. Okay. But anyways, not to rant. Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So the prophets are back doing the same thing, like it says here in Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. And that's what I just read in Matthew 24, the 24th chapter. And the prophets are doing the same thing now. Okay, so this place, America, Babylon the Great, is marked for destruction. Okay, and it's imminent. Okay, this devil is ultimately at his end. Okay, the Lord has risen up the prophets to prophesy. Right, Revelation 11:11, and after 3 days and a half, a period of 350 years, from 1619, right, going into a hardcore chattel slavery up until around the late 1960s, right, when the Lord rose up Elder Albert Bivens, right, Elijah the prophet. When you read Malachi the 4th chapter, when he said he was going to send back Elijah the prophet, that already took place. That was Elder High Priest Albert Bivens, for who can receive it. Okay, and he started teaching on the 12 tribes of Israel, right, and then it grew more and more to where now you see our current elder apostles, Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Rakar, Elder Apostle Rhimelab, right? The elder bishops of Connecticut on down, continuing on in that legacy of prophesying, that righteous legacy of prophesying, man. And much was given unto our current apostles, and they teach us through the Spirit, man. Okay. So ultimately, that's why I was saying we have the 100% truth. And if you don't believe that, hey, that's on you. Hey, at the end of the day, continue to do what y'all do, man. For the ones that don't believe, continue to scoff, mock, continue to go off in your doctrine to these other Israelite camps. But soon the Lord is going to bring that hammer upon y'all, man. You see, it says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life, right? The Rakakodash, the Holy Spirit, the Lord putting that breath into us. The spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. When you see the prophets, we go out and prophesy, and we're standing upon our feet, man, on the highways and hedges, right? Prophesying, and that fear has come upon our enemies, man, right? Mainly talking about these elites of Esau, Edom, like it says in Isaiah the 13th chapter, right? It's true going to the gates of the nobles. Okay, they understand what's going on, right? They know that the prophets are back, so that's why they're moving quick, trying to set up their new world order, right? But ultimately, it's going to be to no avail, man, right? Like it says in well, as a matter of fact, let me keep reading. Verse 12, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them, man. Right. And ultimately, that's how the elect is going to get up out of here, man. Yahweh Shai and the angels are literally coming to rescue the elect, the 144,000 in the Lord's multitude that's slated for salvation. OK, and this is that strangeness of salvation. Like when you read the book of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. OK, it goes into that, going into how our enemies are going to actually witness the deliverance of the children of Israel, man. And we're ultimately going to get the victory over Esau, Edom. OK, so the prophets are back prophesying, man. And hey, look, Babylon is done. Babylon is done, man. OK, so, hey, man, like I said, just wanted to go into a quick lesson real quick. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, man. Until next time, I want to say shalom.